Tonight, a man is stabbed to death by his mentally ill relative in Agod. Contact tracing for the St. Lucian Vinci COVID-19 case takes authorities to Wasco. And Dexter Felix Jr. is laid to rest in a moving ceremony. The details are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Friday, the 24th of July, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News on Flow, Channel 117, Kiss FM, the Caribbean Hot FM mobile app, and our Caribbean Hot 7 TV Facebook page. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. A gruesome crime has rocked the small community of Agod. 38-year-old Emmanuel Morrill of Agod was last seen on Wednesday by relatives and was discovered on Friday morning in a pool of blood inside his residence. There were multiple stab wounds about his body. His family confirms that he met his demise at the hands of a mentally ill family member. Genevieve Gonzague begins our reporting.
St. Lucia has recorded another homicide. On Friday, 24th July, 38-year-old Emmanuel Morrill was found dead in a pool of blood inside his room. Martha Morrill, the mother of the deceased, told Hot 7 that the perpetrator of the shocking crime is a family member.
Since during the week that the boy, Naim, the one that killed him, my grandson, I've been giving problem, and I kept on saying, well, I'm going to call the police. And I say, well, maybe, and I tell him, behave himself. Behave himself, you cannot keep on attacking people in the yard. Because I see him go up the step before Cutlass, asking Marvin for money. So I said, well, for the sake of his mother, well, leave that alone. I will not call the police. We haven't seen Marvin for about 2 to 3 days. So the other brother, Alvin, went down the road this morning and he come back up telling me, Mama, I want to tell you something. I said, what? He kept on telling me, I want to tell you something. I said, well, tell me what happened. Then he told me that Marvin died down there. Then Paul, the other brother, Paul, come and tell me, well, from day before yesterday, so Naim was down there before Hammer and a cutlass and a light. Then he asked Naim, what is it he's doing down there at this hour?
The alleged perpetrator is reportedly mentally ill. He was described as a troublemaker in the community.
The one that killed, he kept on giving people problem in the yard. I kept on calling police to come and take him to the wellness center. The doctor at the wellness center said that he's not mad, it's because he's smoking the marijuana. And that is just what he wanted the boy to give him the money. Kept on asking for money to buy them his habit, to maintain his habit. And Marvin said, I give you money already. I can't give you, when they was quarreling in the yard, Marvin said, I cannot give you more money. And that's what it's for that he killed him.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has apprehended one person to assist in the investigation into the death of Emmanuel Morrill.
And he himself told the police that he had been seeing these things on the movie, everything, so he do it. And it's not now he's frightening, he tackled his mother already. The first one he tackled is Alvin, he nearly killed Alvin, not Marvin, there's Alvin and Marvin. It's Alvin he tried to kill first. By Alvin was sleeping and then he threw a block on Alvin's head. This time is Marvin.
Laurel Blondell is the sister of the deceased. She indicated that her brother was a very dedicated worker. He had been working as a joiner from the time he graduated from secondary school.
He wasn't into anybody's business, always working, and from work, he goes to work in the morning, he spends his time out there, comes back from work straight to his home. You know, he will call whoever he see and then he goes back to his home. Right, but he'll make everybody know that he's not there sometimes and then he go his way. Or if he's back, signal and then go back to his home. You understand? But to say like to find himself in any problem, if anybody, no. You understand? Very quiet, loving person, and he has been working for years because he believes in working. He believes like working is to get what he needs, so he works very hard to get what he needs and to provide himself with.
Morrill says while she is in complete disbelief that such a tragedy occurred, it is something the entire family will somehow have to come to terms with.
I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling sick, I just have to take it easy. Take it easy right now. It happens already. What I can do.
The death of Emmanuel Marvin Morrill takes St. Lucia's homicide rate to 27. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
The process of contact tracing for a St. Lucian who tested positive for COVID-19 in St. Vincent is ongoing and has now taken authorities to Wasco. Wasco closed its offices to the public on Friday due to what it said were circumstances beyond its control. The Ministry of Health says family and close friends of the COVID-19 patient now in St. Vincent have been placed in government quarantine. 154 of her co-workers at a call center have been tested and placed into quarantine. Health officials say none of the contacts of the individual, including family, friends, and former co-workers, are symptomatic.
The Water and Sewage Company's Customer Service and Cash Department at Lance Road has been closed until further notice from Friday 24th. It is alleged that one employee there was in contact with an individual who has tested positive for COVID-19. The family and friends of the individual have been tested and placed in government quarantine. The health team has visited the workplace of the individual. All of the employees were screened, and a total of 154 employees have been tested and placed into quarantine. None of the contacts of the individual, including the family, friends, and employees, are symptomatic. The results are expected to be available by this evening, Friday 24th of July, or tomorrow, the 25th. The Ministry of Health awaits the reports on the occupational health and safety measures at the workplace from the Environmental Health Department to guide on the way forward. Sources have, however, revealed to Hot 7 that the Wasco employee was deemed low risk as she and the individual were not in close contact. The Ministry of Health continues to give advice on the importance of maintaining the standard recommendations for infection prevention and control, which include regular hand washing with soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer where soap and water is not available. The covering of mouth and nose with disposable tissues or cloth when coughing and sneezing. Hot 7 will continue to provide updates as they become available. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Bonzal.
Following the death of 38-year-old Emmanuel Marvin Morrill of Agard, Hot 7 TV reached out to the parliamentary representative for Castries North, Stevenson King. He extended his condolences to the family and made an impassioned plea for all to come on board to stem the upsurge in crime. King spoke to the current violent climate in St. Lucia and asked for there to be a reignited sense of kinship.
This one would be one which certainly should raise some serious questions and cause us to take the necessary action to avoid these sort of occurrences and to reach out to people where help is needed, to reach out and help those who are in need, and to put the necessary, what I call social fabric in place through organizations, existing organizations and other organizations which may emerge to address and to avert such reoccurrences.
He stated that the current uptake in crime should cause everyone to re-evaluate how they resolve conflict.
Anger and how anger is managed, disputes, how we manage disputes, how to resolve such situations is very disturbing for us as a country. And more, we need to pay attention to signs. We need to pay attention to behavior of individuals, whether it's mental, psychological, or otherwise. We need to pay attention to what may be rivalry within our communities and to stem it and to nip it in the bud.
He warned that the upsurge in crime will reflect badly on St. Lucia and affect the economy, given the island's heavy dependence on tourism. On Friday morning, a minibus transporting passengers to Castries and a supplies truck collided at the intersection of Lance Road and John Compton Highway. Our cameras were on the scene and spoke to one of the individuals involved in the accident. Many passengers reportedly suffered injuries as a result of the incident. Genevieve Gonzague reports.
We're standing at the scene of a vehicular accident at the intersection of Lance Road and the John Compton Highway, where a 14-seater minibus transporting passengers collided with a truck. A student who had just written his CXC exam told Hot 7 he was very shaken and perplexed by the entire affair.
We was on our way home, literally going home, and then We was minding our own business, and then we just see a truck come out of nowhere. And next thing we know, we just see ourselves just flying forward in the place.
Acting Leading Fire Officer Zakin Mathre explained that victims in critical condition were given rapid transportation to the OKAU hospital while backup was sought.
We're presently transporting 2 patients by ambulance and waiting for backup from the other sister stations. Still assessing the scene to see exactly how many persons are injured, but right now we're transporting the 2 critical patients to the hospital.
The young man explained that one of his friends seemed badly injured and was taken to the hospital via the ambulance.
Yeah, one of them took it real bad.
Where you sitting?
We was at the back. 2 of us was at the back. One was on the single seat just before the back, and the other one was in the 2 seat before the back. We just saw ourselves flying forward, and I just saw blood on the bus, and the next thing I know, the next thing I just knowing is that one of them was really, really, really out of power.
So the bus got across, in other words?
The details of what led to the collision are being investigated by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Janine Fonza.
A tropical storm warning is in effect for St. Lucia as it relates to Gonzalo. The Minister for Infrastructure, Stephenson King, has assured that groundwork has been done around the island in preparation for the hurricane season and that it should be enough to take the country through Tropical Storm Gonzalo safely. He says while some works are delayed, whatever has been done is deemed sufficient. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
The Minister with responsibility for the island's infrastructure, Stephenson King, has given the assurance that his ministry has taken the steps needed to prepare the nation for the impending passage of Tropical Storm Gonzalo. King explained that planning for the annual hurricane season is a top priority for the government.
Generally at this time, the Department of Infrastructure would have completed its planning and operations and disaster preparedness program. That we have completed a long time ago. Prior to June, we have implemented our pre-hurricane season program of unblocking culverts and drains throughout the communities in St. Lucia. So we've done that all over the island.
King said there was one setback which was out of his ministry's control. However, he said although they were slowed down, they were not stopped.
We are a bit delayed with our desilting program, and that is because this year the desilting program is being funded by the World Bank, and the World Bank has been a little slow in at least giving the approvals so as to proceed with the program. However, we are pretty comfortable that notwithstanding impending weather, that we have done sufficient work in terms of preparation, the question of the silting of drains, unblocking of culverts, cutting of overhang branches throughout the country. A bit of that has taken place, and we're hoping that that is sufficient to allow us to weather this weekend.
King said beyond this weekend, with the approval of the World Bank, attempts will be made to undertake the desilting of major ravines and rivers throughout the island. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Still to come, Dexter Felix Jr. is laid to rest after an emotional funeral service at the Minor Basilica of the Immaculate Conception. The St. Lucia National Trust applauds the Choiseul MP for acquisition of the Monsieur sugar mills. And Senator Adrian Auger says why not on the issue of legalizing cannabis. That and more coming up after the break.